Want to make a giant embroidered butterfly on a piece of oak? Let me show you how. Hello beautiful people and welcome to another video. In this one I'll be working on this old sewing box and I'm going to do some really cool things that I've never tried before. Looks like this old sewing box has been through a lot, it's badly stained and very worn out, but I've got a great idea how to make it beautiful again. I'm not going to reuse the fabric for obvious reasons, but I can use the cardboard or whatever is underneath as templates. And of course I'm going to take it apart as much as I can to make the cleaning, sanding and staining process easier for myself. I've actually seen a lot of these on Facebook Marketplace, but I've never worked on one. As you can see, there is some damage and it definitely needs to be refinished. First, I'm going to remove the lacquer toner, see what's underneath and find out whether I can actually work with it. This is what it looks like, and unfortunately this is veneer, but I've got a really cool device that I've been testing for the last week and I think it's absolutely perfect for this project. But first I'm going to try oxalic acid, see if I can bleach this stain, and I'll go from there. And while this is drying, I'm going to remove the legs so I can work on them. These legs are not glued, so it's gonna make it much easier to clean them when they're off. I don't know what you call these shock absorber thingies, but I'll keep them. It's a little better, but I don't think I'll be able to get rid of this stain, unfortunately, and you can see that the veneer is super thin. Unfortunately, there isn't much I can do with this veneer, and because I'm speaking from the future, I know that I'll need to re-veneer it anyway, but for now I'm going to stain it black so I can actually cover the stain. When I started working on this project, as per usual, I didn't really have a plan, but because this is a sewing box, it just dawned on me that it would be a genius idea to have a huge embroidered design on the top lid. The question is, how do I do something like that? And here's the answer. I've got this magical device from eufy. They make all sorts of stuff, but this is something brand new on the market. This is a printer that uses UV resin ink and it can make 3D prints. Which means that I can find a picture of an embroidered butterfly. I can crop it with the software that's included for free. I can remove the background, I can resize it and make it textured. Which means that it will come out of the printer looking like it's actually embroidered. But the amazing thing is that I can print it on wood, which I would never be able to embroider something on wood. And this actually comes with an app that works really well, and I found myself using the app more often than the actual software on my laptop. So this is what I meant. I had to re-veneer this whole thing because this panel is a bit too big for this printer and the camera couldn't capture the whole thing, so it's completely my fault that this is slightly off-centered, and that's why I had to take it off and re-veneer the whole thing. But because I had to take it off, I can tell you that it was on properly because it was not easy to remove it. The software that eufy make comes with is actually super easy to use, and I'm not saying this just because they gave me this machine for free, but it actually is. So the second time around I was smarter and I made some markers to make sure that this was perfectly centered and it looked amazing. I also made it a bit bigger. Can you imagine the things you can do with this machine? I don't even know what to say. This is just so cool that you can do something like this. But the million-dollar question is, can it print wood? So the software comes with all sorts of templates and textures and other things. So I printed a bunch of them on a piece of wood, and this is what it looked like. And I don't need to tell you because you can see for yourself. You can print marble, leather, animal skin textures, and wood. This is so freaking cool. But given I work with furniture, the next thing that came to my mind was, can I make custom knobs? And because most of the knobs are not flat, I was wondering if I can actually print on curved surfaces. So I found these old wooden knobs. I sanded them lightly and I cleaned them up to promote adhesion, and I found some flowery design that would actually go with what I was doing, but I wasn't actually going to keep these knobs. I just wanted to see if I could actually do it. So it turns out that you can actually print on curved surfaces and it looks really cool. So I decided to do it again. I've got these old wooden knobs that I sanded and stained black so they match the rest of the cupboard. And I also found a design that was embroidered and would go with the whole theme of my project. And as you can see, because these are textured, so they look like someone painted them on or embroidered them. And at this point, I literally wanted to start printing on everything. I had these metal art panels, so I wanted to find something as outrageous and colorful as there was, and this is what I found. This image is quite big, so it took a while to print it, but you can actually choose how many layers you want to print and whether you want a top gloss coat or not. There's just so many things you can do, but just look at this. It looks spectacular. It's just so textured and colorful. Looks absolutely amazing. Anyhow, because I already had the top lid done and the knobs, I sprayed them with clear lacquer and I left them to dry, so I could start working on the rest of the sewing box. Even though it was pretty loud with all the sanding and scraping, I could hear some meowing outside of my workshop, and it turned out to be Hugo, which is my neighbor's cat. My cat Mando and Hugo, they love each other and they just go to each other's houses all the time, and I have a very good relationship with my neighbor, so I asked her if she had a favorite picture of Hugo so I could actually do something with it. And when she sent it to me, I put it in eufy software, and there is an AI feature that allows you to change an ordinary picture into something that looks like an oil painting. The software can generate texture from any picture, but it will look different if you actually use the AI to turn the picture into an oil painting and then generate the texture, because it will just look more like an oil painting. So that's what I did. It was super easy. You just put in the prompt for the AI and it gave me a few different options. So I picked the one that I liked the most and I printed it. I was actually quite surprised because this was a large picture and it was textured. So I thought it was gonna take a long time to print it, but I think it was about an hour. And I'm not gonna lie, I've done quite a few of these with different cats and different things. But I don't want you to think I'm crazy, so I'm not gonna show you all of them. Just look at this. It actually looks like an oil painting. It's so cool. I gave it to my neighbor and she absolutely loved it, as well as her kids. This is crazy. It's so nice. And just think about all those amazing gift ideas that you can come up with and make them so personal. I'm nearly done staining and I need to make a trip to a local fabric store so I can finish this project, and every time I drive I take a drink with me, so I thought it would be cool to make the tumbler that I put my drink in a bit more personal. You can use a rotary attachment for the eufy make to print on tumblers and glasses and similar things, so I thought I would give it a go. As you can see, this is pretty much magic. It's fully automated, it levels itself, so you don't need to do anything. You literally just choose the design or the graphic, and lots of them come with the software, so you don't even need to look for any. And this is what it looked like. I hope you can see this in the video. This is one of the designs that came with the software. I altered it so parts of this are raised and parts are flat, and this is super high quality. It literally looks like something you would buy at the store. Have I mentioned I wanted to start printing on everything? I had a new phone case and I printed a very cute picture of Baby Yoda. This is slightly raised and it's got a little bit of texture and it just looks so cool. So now that I've got the phone case and my tumbler, I can drive to the store. So I've made 4 drawer stoppers because the old ones were gone, and now I just need to attach them. So the drawers will actually stop where they need to stop. As I was spraying the top coat on the sewing box, I thought about different things I could possibly add to this project to make it look even nicer. And because some parts of this box I can't put in the printer, so I thought maybe I could print a 3D sticker, like an embroidered molding type of thing, and see if that works. So I did that, and then I put it through the laminating machine, and let's see if this is even possible. I actually have no idea at all if this is going to work, and this isn't something that eufy recommends that you do, but I was just curious if it's even possible to do a 3D sticker like this. But if this works, there are so many things that it will be useful for. There's no lacquer on the drawers yet, but let's see what the knobs look like. Alright, that's not bad at all. This glue for the sticky paper is actually really strong, because I know even though you're not supposed to do it, people make tumblers and put them in dishwashers and it's fine. Okay, I'm gonna try another one, and I think I'm gonna put a coat of lacquer on top of it, so it should cover this tiny bits of film. I thought that this was going to break, but it actually didn't. I think I'm gonna do this on these panels as well, otherwise it looks a bit empty. I think that if I actually use the laminating machine better, this entire film that's around this design would come off with this piece. At least that's what I think. I've never actually done this before. But honestly, you can't really see that, and I'm gonna put a coat of lacquer on top of it, so it will be perfect. Sometimes I get comments that the pieces that I make look very masculine. I can't help it, I'm so manly, but I'm just kidding. So So this time I'm making something that looks very masculine because it's black, but also is very feminine because it's flowery and colorful. Huh? How about that? I'm actually surprised how easy this is to work with. I thought it was going to be way more fragile and that the resin piece would fall apart, but it doesn't. By the way, you can get hot foiling film for the laminating machine, so that's just another thing you can do, which I definitely want to try. I also made this sign for the front panel, which looked really cool, but wasn't very straight.
A few moments later.
I had to redo this, and I don't want to go into details, but I don't know if I want to repeat this on the front. I think I want to do something else or just leave it as it is. Alright, I think I'm going to reuse these because I can see why not. I thought I would stay true to the original color of the lining, so I got this fabric. This is much thicker, so I'm going to skip this underlayer, and I think you would call it like a dusty pink or dirty pink. And as far as the trim piece, I decided to go with something like this. I thought it was cool and a bit different. I kept this old piece of fabric so I can use it as a template. I think there is no reason to overthink this, so I'm going to make it very simple for myself. Alright, so that was actually pretty easy. Now I just need to repeat the process 3 more times. And Bob's your uncle. I can't really use this trim because it looks a bit funny because of the fringe, so I'm going to cut it off. Okay, I changed my mind again.
Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise.
It was way too much with this, but I think just the fringe actually looks pretty nice. I think that looks pretty cool. Alright, let's do the inside now. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been so much fun working on this project and trying all those features of the eufy made. As I mentioned, this is brand new technology and it's very new to the market. It's actually launching on May 6th. So if you sign up now, I'll put all the links in the description. You'll be reminded when it's in stock. And as my viewer, you'll actually get $600 gift. You simply use Flipping Drawers code at checkout in order to get it.